Hi, welcome back to Dr. Heather ND. Today I have a pot of tea going on the stove and I thought I will talk you guys through how to make tea. And you're probably thinking, well, that's really silly, Dr. Heather. I know how to make tea, easy peasy, anybody could do it. But there's actually an art and a science to making an actual herbal infusion with medicinal benefits. So I'm going to talk you guys through that today. So on the stove here I have a hot infusion. You can see it's just going really low, but it is hot water that we're working with. There's other ways that you can extract medicinal components of a plant into water, basically other ways to make tea or herbal infusions. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of sun tea, where you put your herbal material in water and then just bring that outside into the sun and let the sun and the warmth of the sun extract those properties into the water. There's also cold infusions, and some herbs, I've got all my props out here to show you guys, like slippery elm. Slippery elm is a demulcent, which means it forms this, it's hard to describe, it's like a slippery, slimy type of goop, but it's actually really healing to things like mucous membranes. So the best way to make a slippery elm tea, or slippery elm gruel we sometimes call it, is by putting some slippery elm into water and then putting that in the fridge overnight and making a cold infusion. So we have cold infusions, we have hot infusions like what we have here, and then we also have things like sun tea. So lots of different ways that you can extract your herbal components into the water. Okay, so there are also different plant parts that you can use to make teas. What I have going in this tea right now is licorice and lemon balm, and I make a number of different blends, and I've shared them with other people, and this one seems to be pretty much the most popular. So that's the licorice, this is my lemon balm. I bought it in bulk, like a 1-pounder, so I've got it split into all different jars. But basically, the way that I recommend this tea, you can drink it just for flavor because it is really yummy, but it's also strongly antiviral. Both licorice and lemon balm have antiviral properties. They're also really good for the digestive system. So licorice is really soothing to the digestive tissues, and lemon balm is actually part of the mint family, and mint is one of those top herbs that we've kind of all heard of for soothing the digestive tract. So those are the herbs that we're working with in this infusion. So the licorice, I'll open it and show you guys. The licorice is a root, at least the part that we're working with. So you can kind of see in there that it's a harder plant part. The lemon balm is the leaf. That's the part that we're using in our infusion. It's not really focusing there, but I'm going to show you guys some other ones for examples. So those are the two in there now. Some other examples of harder plant parts would be typically like dried berries. So elderberries, hawthorn berries, these are really hard. If I were to take them out and hold them in my hands, they'd be hard to squeeze. Roots, like the licorice root, examples of harder plant materials that you need to have going longer in the hot water in order to really extract the materials. So in this particular infusion, I've had licorice going in there for about 10 minutes. And then I added the lemon balm after 10 minutes, and I'll leave it all to go for about another 5. And that's because the harder plant parts require about 15 minutes in the hot water. The softer ones, so these are some other examples of softer ones. Usually dried leaves are a good example of softer plant parts that only need about 5 minutes in the hot water. If you have something that's already a powder, then you also don't need a long time in the hot water. So 5 minutes is good for both of those. So like I said with this one, since we're combining hard and soft plant parts, it's really easy. You just start the harder plant parts a little bit earlier, and then when the timing is right, after about 10 minutes, then you add the softer plant parts. So what other ways can you make your tea? As you can see, I've just got the herbs straight in the hot water right now. At the end, I'm just going to strain. Really easy. You can also, if you want it to be a little bit neater or more professional, or you want to set a number of tea servings out at once, you can also get bags like this. I lost a string in that one, but these are just basically unfiltered tea bags that you can fill with your own herbs, and it makes it more convenient. You can also use something like a teapot like this. So you would put your herbs in here and then leave them in the hot water, and they'll infuse right in the tea kettle. There are also ones that have this little infuser part made out of glass, and I happen to like those more because I'm always conscious of what I'm putting in hot water and leaving to sit in hot water. So you want to make sure that you're using a material such as heat-proof glass that's not going to leach anything out into your water. There are also those round tea balls that are made out of usually metal as well, so that's also an option. And then a quick note on how much herb to use. This is about a cup of water, so a cup is like what you would consider to be basically a serving. This is going to be a medicinal tea. I have a lot of more beverage-like teas, a whole cabinet full, and sometimes I'll dig into these. Literally, I have teas all over because I really do love teas. They're great to drink both for health and for flavor. If you really want a medicinal tea though, you need to make sure that you have enough of the herbal material in your tea. So typically the tea bags that you'll buy in the store, like these ones I just showed you here, that's more of like a beverage dose. It'll taste like the whatever herb or plant is in there, but it might not give you enough of the medicinal power of the plant to actually do very much healing work. So if you wanted to make a beverage tea out of herbs, which you can certainly do on your own, then for every cup of water, you'll be adding about 1 to 2 teaspoons of the plant material. So you do want to be stirring occasionally, I should point that out, just to make sure that you're getting all of the parts of the plant under the water and you're really extracting as much as you can from the plant material. So about 1 to 2 teaspoons, like I said, for a beverage quality tea. If you want to make a more medicinal quality tea, then it's about 1 to 2 tablespoons per cup of water. So that's important to remember because, again, you can have a tea that tastes delicious, but if there's not enough herbs or herb parts in there, then you might not be getting the medicine from the plant that you're hoping for. So I know that was a lot. It's really easy once you get the hang of it and once you keep these few simple things in mind. But if you have any other questions about tea making, definitely let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I hope you learned a lot today and enjoyed learning about tea. Thanks guys, see you later on Dr. Heather ND.